Show on the road today to the Midland Country Club, home of the Dow Championship, one of the top 5 LPGA tournament events in the world, and rated probably, after the 4 majors, probably the number 1 tournament, as we heard earlier from Jim Fiddling. Before we introduce you to our guest this hour, I just want to take a moment to note a passing of someone who I've known for 40-some-odd years. You've heard him call in on the show an awful lot. His name was Errol Burton. Errol was Canadian by birth, former firefighter, former battalion chief in Saginaw back when I got here in the 70s, and we became pretty good friends and picked on each other unmercifully. He passed away last weekend, and just wanted to pass along my condolences to the Burton family and all those who knew him. He was a unique individual and a lot of fun to spar with and be around. So I just wanted to pass that on. As I mentioned, we're here at the Dow Championship. And another guest this hour. Jeremy, introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, everybody. Jeremy Friedman, co-media director for the Dow Championship, and with our tournament operator company called Outlier that runs this great event.
Co-media director means when I don't have a guest, he gets sucked in.
No, co-media director means that Art has everything that he is taking care of, that he has a good room to work, that he has high-speed internet, that he has food and beverages. As a longtime media member myself, that's my goal and objective, is to make sure to take care of our people during the week.
You're doing a good job, I'll tell you that.
Thank you, Art.
So let's talk about. We don't talk about this too much. Let's talk about the structure of the organization, because Outlier is a name most people wouldn't be familiar with.
Right.
Dow, yeah, they know Dow.
Yep.
And they know the tournament runs well.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't run well necessarily because Dow makes it run well. It runs well because Dow is smart enough to hire a company to do it. So tell us about Outlier.
Outlier is we're a sports and entertainment marketing company. We are, like I said, we are the tournament operator for the Dow Championship this week.
And not just this one. How many tournaments do you operate?
We run 7 LPGA events. We run a couple of Corn Ferry Tour events, the Chubb Classic on PGA Tour Champions down in Naples. We also run a college tournament in Arkansas, and we also we operate 3 live tournaments, including.
You're doing live tournaments.
We are.
Oh, really?
We are, including the Live Golf Dallas that's actually taking place this weekend in Merido. So we have tournament teams that are running that event too.
Well, that's tough on Outlier because you usually bring people in for each of these tournaments.
Right. So we have a full team here of probably 30 plus full-time staff members from. All over the country. All over the country. I'm from Tampa, Florida. That's my home base. And so as the head of PR for the company, so I travel on hopscotch to different events and help run the media centers and help do all the advanced press and the media during the week. I was also up here a couple of weeks ago, helping to run the Meyer LPGA Classic right down the road in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, no kidding. Is that an Outlier tournament?
That's an Outlier tournament as well. So we do both both Michigan LPGA events. So
how has the game changed for you guys? Has it changed much the way these tournaments are run today?
In terms of how they're run, not a lot. I think in the advent of. But before I was here, so I was at Golf Channel and NBC Sports for 15 years, so long time member of the media as well. I think not so much the tournament operations have changed. You know this as well as I do. The media landscape
I knew that was coming.
has changed dramatically, right? Years ago, I would say even 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. All these tournaments, you had like every newspaper had a golf writer, right? You had a daily golf writer. Like up here, you had. I know Carlos Menarez still does a lot for the Free Press, but like Jack Saylor was, legendary golf writer at the Free Press. Detroit News, Varden Kapelian, right? He was a legendary golf writer at the Detroit News. Tony Paul does a lot for the Detroit News now for golf, and Carlos does for the Free Press, but you don't have your dedicated golf writer anymore, right? It's
a lot of communities don't have a dedicated newspaper anymore.
Correct. And so a lot of from the media landscape, it's, digital is just the way of the world, right? And I think it's taking tournaments to, with the growth of social media, with the growth of podcasts, with the growth of digital, right? We as tournament operators, we have to, adapt with the times, right? And years ago, social media folks and say social media influencers, they wouldn't necessarily get access to the tournaments. They wouldn't get the media access, right?
Right.
But we see the power of social media and the power of social media influencers. So that has changed on the LPGA.
But you have to be selective in who those influences are.
Correct.
In the same way that you have to have an application process for legacy media.
100%. Yep. Same type of process. I think out here, when out on the golf course, in terms of a tournament operations side, not much has really changed over the years. I think the involvement is the sponsors, and what kind of the.
Well, it doesn't happen without them.
Correct, and kind of what the different activations here, and on the LPGA tour, it's second to none, right? When you have a sponsor, like Dow, and just like however many other sponsors we have here, they know that this is a tremendous week for them to entertain their customers, entertain their clients, to showcase kind of what they do, right? So you see, like on 18, you have that whole wraparound hospitality structure, right?
Yeah.
And that I think has grown over the years with just how you make those structures more high class, high end, so that when people who have never been to a golf tournament, they're wowed.
But there's another word that comes along with it, because until Dow got involved, this is their 6th tournament.
Correct.
The word sustainability wasn't at the top of the list. Now it's at the top of the list. It is
at top of the list. And the great thing about this tournament is the Dow Championship was the first one on the LPGA Tour to become GEO certified. And I'm sure Jim, maybe mentioned this previously, but that is, in addition to giving back to the greater Midland community, in addition to giving back to all the charities, sustainability here at this tournament is a top 2 or top 3 priority.
Now they've become the sustainability teacher for everybody else on tour.
Correct.
So they know how to do it.
Yep.
We're talking to Jeremy Friedman. He is the head of public relations for the Outlier Group, and he is co-media chairman while he's here. We'll be back with him after these notes on the Art Lewis Show, coming to you from the Midland Country Club, home of the Dow Championship.
Jeff Gronsky here with AutoBrite.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW as we broadcast today from the Dow Championship at the Midland Country Club. A beautiful day for golf. This is practice round day. Jeremy Friedman is with me from Outlier, where he is the head of their public relations, and not only public relations for this tournament, but he has other responsibilities with Outlier, including being PR for some of the live tournaments.
So I'm assisting.
You're assisting everywhere.
I'm assisting that. Yeah. So yes, live. We are doing a couple of live tournaments this summer.
So let me ask about that. And you've been around the golf game for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
You work for the Golf Channel, NBC.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what got you to leave those and move into the promotional world, if you will, or the operational world?
So this actually gets back to my roots. So before I was at Golf Channel, I worked for a similar company to Outlier, but a lot bigger, called Momentum in New York. Back when
my hometown.
Back when Buick was involved in golf, right? When the Buick Open was,
we had the Buick Open.
The Buick Open in Grand Blanc. So I did. So Momentum was the tournament operator for the Buick Open, the Buick Classic, the Buick Challenge, Buick Invitational. So I helped with PR for the Buick Open in Grand Blanc. I still say it's the best. It was the best tent party week on the PGA Tour. You couldn't walk 50 feet without seeing a tent somewhere, right, in Grand Blanc. And then the 17th hole, that par 3, we try to create it as the mini version of Phoenix.
It was the signature.
Yeah, it was we try to make it the one of the rowdiest holes in golf. I mean, it was a tremendous
successful.
Yeah. So this kind of gets me back to my roots in the tournament operator side, and also I've told other folks this, and I'm on the alumni board of directors for University of Georgia, where I for their journalism school, and I tell them this, that it's what I'm doing now, and I touched on this at the top, is as media director for all these events, as a media guy and as a journalist, I'm taking care of our people. I'm taking care of the media, right? The media center is the front of the house to the rest of the world. What comes out of that media center right next to us, people read, hear, listen, watch, right? And for us, and I've been, just like you, I've been in a million of these media centers. I've been in media centers that are great. I've been media centers where it's the last thing that's thought of, right? And this is like for this, and this is a pride of joy for us at Outlier. Like these media centers and these, we want to make sure that the media has a great experience. The Pro-Am tomorrow, right? All the Pro-Am participants, we want them to have a great experience, right? For sure.
Not only that, 2 days of it this year.
2 days of it, yes.
Was in Mondays.
Yep. Monday, yesterday Pro-Am, and a Pro-Am tomorrow. Like for you and we've got 150 plus media that are credentialed this week. We want them to walk out of here going, that was a great week. That was a great experience. So it's taken all my years working in media centers to now running media centers. So it's almost like I'm kind of giving back, for lack of a better term.
But you love it. I mean, it's your passion.
Totally do. Yep.
I mean, that's why I do what I do.
Yep.
And people that typically are good at what they do have a passion for it. You have to.
It's a total passion. Agree. Yeah.
It's not work.
No, it's not. And we were just talking. I whirlwind travel all over the place for our events, but it's great to see when you come to different events, and like in the LPGA Tour, when they know that it's an Outlier run tournament, they're like, we know what we're going to get, right? We know that this is going to be first class from A to Z, right? And I'm just a small part of that.
All right, we'll come back to this tournament in a little bit here.
Yep.
I have to ask these questions.
Yeah, sure.
You work with Liv. There was discussion a year or two ago, PGA, Liv, coming together, joining forces. If you look in the Freeman crystal ball, do you ever see it happening? Got a smile on his face, but he's not answering.
It's I would say a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, yes. I still think it might in a way, but I think where it's morphing to now, it might not, because they might not need each other, if that makes sense, right? It almost seems like a few years ago that because the PGA Tour and Liv were just competing.
Well, I wondered if they burned so many bridges, there was no way across.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's now because Liv has their organization structure. They got a new CEO that's in. They have they have new head execs that are U.S. based execs, and I think that they are going in the right direction. And I do I think that they will merge and come together? I don't know, but do they need to? I don't think so. What I hope that happens is that everybody just plays nice in the sandbox, right? You're seeing more on the major side, more quote unquote exemptions for Liv players to be able to compete in the major championships, to compete in the Ryder Cup. So it's slowly getting there. as far as as far as the best players all competing with each other. I think that's the goal of take away everything else. Like, you're a golf fan, I'm a golf fan. We all want to see the best players compete against each other, right? And we've kind of missed that the past few years. So we see it at the majors, and I think that's. I don't know if they're going to ever land on, combining and coming back and live players being able to play on PGA Tour events. I don't know.
Beginning of live, maybe a few years ago. People at home can't see this, but I was sitting right outside on that balcony over there with Corey Pavin. Mm-hmm. We weren't doing anything. We were just sitting around. So we started talking about live. And I was surprised at his answer because, you wondered how the PGA guys viewed it, And he said, I'm pretty neutral on it. And I'll tell you why. He says, some of these players on the live side, they can go out and in 1 week make enough to be good for life and not have to worry about anything.
Yep.
And I said, that makes financial sense, I guess, to those that need it, and he was pretty neutral on it.
Yep. I think it's, I think the players, because you haven't seen in the past, I guess, year or two, you haven't seen since Jon Rahm went from the PGA Tour to live, right? That was the last big move, lack of a better term, right, from PGA Tour to live. I mean, there's like at the end of the year they do relegation and they do they'll get some players that come in, but there hasn't been that big
influx,
right?
Yeah.
And
it was the Mickelsons made all the noise in the beginning.
Sure, yep, and it was, and in the beginning it was, you had the Mickelsons, you had the Dustin Johnsons, you had all those guys that were making the move over,
and the Shark.
Yeah, and and there was a lot of noise, and not a lot of noise, but there was a lot of news and a lot in the press about it. I think now, because it's however many years that I think it's like year 4
or 5, yeah,
4 or 5.
Been a while.
I think the PGA Tour versus Live storyline, everybody's heard it, and it's like, okay, guys, just you guys figure it out and see if if you can't come together, figure out how to, for the good of golf, how to play in the sandbox, play nice in the sandbox.
Has it hurt your former employer, the Golf Network?
I don't think so. So Live is their broadcast partner is Fox this year, and I think that's a good move for them because CW, who was their broadcast partner, they're great. They just weren't, they didn't have a whole lot of sports sponsorships. Fox does, so they have a lot more resources and all that. In terms of hurting Golf Channel and NBC, no, actually the TV viewership is across the board, including on the LPGA Tour, is up.
I know that the LPGA, the LPGA is up because you find it all over now.
Yep.
I've watched a lot of it in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the ratings on the PGA Tour on not only Golf Channel but NBC and CBS are up week over week, and I think it's and that's a good thing. So I don't think it's hurt.
It's interesting that those are sustainable numbers, that they're up. Because it used to be you had a core audience, and then you had the Tiger Woods audience, which quadrupled the size of the core audience. And then when you didn't play, you went back to the core audience again.
Yep.
We got to take a break. Come back. We're talking to Jeremy. Jeremy Friedman is. He won't say it, but he's the head of PR for the Outlier Group.
There we go.
And calls himself the co-media director here. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Kevin.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Jeremy Friedman from Outlier, the company that runs the golf tournament here at the Midland Country Club for Dow. It's the LPGA Dow Championship. And we are conversing about golf in ways that only Jeremy knows because he's been at it so long.
That's right.
And it's been a pretty good career, hasn't it?
It has. I'm working on. So my birthday was Sunday, so we celebrate.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. We celebrated my birthday here in setting up the media center Sunday night, and as we had a little birthday hoopla here. But yeah, this is probably year 27-ish for me in the golf industry, doing in the media side of the golf industry, and it's been a thrill.
There are probably worse careers.
Correct. And there's getting to know you guys and getting to know members of the media all over the country, in covering this tour and these tours. Getting to know the players, getting to know the agents, and that's the other part, because we were talking about this earlier. It's with all the with your career, it's a lot of what we do is relationship based.
Absolutely.
Right. And
most of it.
And what, like with the players, that when we ask them to do press events or press tours or media things, like when they know that us, Outlier, or I'm helping with that, they're like, they know what they're going into. They're not going to get shocked, lack of a better term.
Sandbagged.
Yeah, correct. To use the golf term.
To sabotage them.
Yep, correct.
And so we look at the Dow Championship here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a very successful tournament.
Yes.
For the years of its existence.
It has,
It's amazing
yes.
how good it was right from the beginning.
Yep.
What are you looking for this year?
I think first off, we need to put the good karma that the beautiful blue skies that we're seeing outside right now, and the temperature comes down a little bit, but we see the beautiful blue skies for the rest of the week. We were talking about this in break. The players love this event, and I think it's the timing of this event, because it comes right after a major, right, where they're all just grinding.
KPMG.
I mean, yes, they are going to be grinding this week, because it's a $3.3 million purse. It's a one of the top 5 purses on the LPGA Tour, but it's a team event. It's something that they don't do each and every week, because they play stroke play, and they get to, they get the players that are committed, they can pick their partner, right? So we've seen over the years unique partners. Like a couple of years ago, Madeline Sagstrom picked Annika Sorenstam, right? Her mentor, right?
She was here 1 year.
Yep. And some of our past champions, we have the Jutenigarn sisters, right? They're here.
They're
this
back
week
again this year,
Yep.
but we don't have the Cordas.
Correct. We don't. We don't have the Cordas. Jessica is still home being a mom. Nellie is taking a breather this week, but we do have Lexi Thompson. She is back. She's playing with Megan Kang, so that's a great field we've got, or a great pairing. We also have an example. So Lydia Ko and Danielle Kang. Rose Zhang is here playing with Heron Ryu. They are doing press conference in a couple hours. So it's a tremendous international field, but it's also a tremendous field of players that love coming here, love playing these community events, because they love, when they go week in, week out, when they come to events like here at the Dow Championship, where the city pretty much shuts down for this week, right? They love playing in where they get on the first tee and they just see crowds just going down the hole.
They have increased year after year.
Correct. We talked about we were talking about this earlier. So we also run the Meyer LPGA Classic. That was a couple weeks ago in Grand Rapids. It's very similar, where and the players were saying about that too. They love playing in front of the crowds, right? They will see that like on the weekend. The teams will have their walk-up songs on Sunday.
18.
On 18. You as the first tee announcer, I mean, you see them every year, kind of how they get amped up to play for their partner, but to play at this event. Yeah. And what Dow does with this tournament, and how they give back to the community, how they give back to charity, how it's the first sustainable tournament, how they have Dow Employee Day here, right? Where you'll see a sea of red.
3,000 of them.
You'll have the sea of red everywhere on Friday. It's just it's a tremendous week all around here in Midland.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Hey,
Sit
welcome.
out there at the table.
Welcome.
And
my pleasure. Anytime, Art.
Well, we look forward to it again.
Yes, sir.
We'll keep in touch.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy Friedman. We will take a break, come back, and move on to someone who knows something about this club.
Yes, he does.
We'll be back right after this.
Every great story
And we are back with you here at the Midland Country Club, home of the Dow Championship. And speaking of the Midland Country Club, Kevin, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, my name's Kevin Schroeder. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Kevin is the general manager.
Assistant general manager, I appreciate it.
Well, I boosted you.
I'll be sure to let Todd know. He'll be surprised.
Yeah, I forgot about Todd. I didn't mean to do that, Todd. So this club, in the world today, country clubs have taken a beating to some extent. A lot of them have gone under. This club is a giant among clubs, isn't it? I mean, it's got a waiting list.
Yeah, no, we're very fortunate here. It's a special community and a special club. Obviously, when this was built in 2010, it was built as the club of the future. We really focus on being family-friendly and family-oriented. We host over 3,000 different events throughout the year of different sizes. Everything from our Kids Corner events where they do a butterfly release and you get to watch all the caterpillars grow, all the way up to this amazing event and our gala. And it truly is a special place to be. The membership is second to none. The staff is second to none. We're very fortunate.
How does an event like this impact the club?
We see the benefit.
Positive and negative.
Excuse me. Yes. No. It's always fun to see the staff each year say, I think we could do a little more. We can push it a little further. We can do a better job. We take a lot of pride in it. We get to see the games all year round. We staff up a little bit more all year round to prepare for it. It is a long week. Chef Nate or Melissa, they're here starting to cook food and set stuff up at 2:30 in the morning, and they'll be here breaking stuff down at 8 o'clock at night. But it's a lot of pride when we're on 18 and all the department heads and the volunteer chairs to see that trophy presentation. It's really a surreal moment that you take a lot of pride in.
And the members, they're impacted because obviously this impacts their play. But they've all embraced it, haven't they, for the most part?
They really have. I mean, the Outlier team's been amazing to work with. They focus on the build, trying to make it as easy for the membership as possible. If you look out the window here, you can see people still swimming. The pool's open to the membership for the week.
You would expect that today.
Yeah, you need to today. Everyone should be out there. But it really is. They take a lot of pride. All the chairs, the lead chairs are volunteers or members. There's some of them here. I think I got to put them on health insurance at the end of the week because they're here long enough to be full-time employees. So it really is something, just like a great sense of pride, especially coming into year 6, and I really feel like everyone's hitting their stride, and just a wonderful team all around.
And so everybody understands, for a course like this, I mean, how long is the build in, and how long does it take to build out?
The team they have I can't believe how fast they can put it out. But it's usually 4 or 5 weeks about ahead of time, a lead time. And then we have the event week, and then within 2 weeks, it's pretty much all gone. It's amazing. That Outlier team, they're here Monday morning as soon as it's done, pulling stuff up, and I don't know how they have anything left in them. But so it's about 6 weeks all in.
So that's not too bad. I mean, it's healthy, but you can still play golf and you can still play around it.
You can still play around it. It's kind of cool once the stuff's up to play. You have to play it like a pro day where the membership can do it and feel like they still got the stands up, and so there's some unique experiences in that, and there's some things you have to work around. But our new superintendent this year, he said this is the best team they've ever worked with about making the build so easy. He's done it for, I think this is his 12th LPGA event, and he said it really is a special way they do it here.
Yeah, well, it's a special tournament. The LPGA has found that to be true. I can remember the very first year of it, and it was named the number one stop on the tour by the gals. Pretty impressive when you haven't done it before.
No, we were very proud of that. We have over 250 employees of the club that are here working this week to bring it all together. So we have lifeguards that are in the kitchen right now breaking eggs to make it all happen. So it really is cool to see everyone come together. Everyone enjoys doing something different.
There's something else about this club that I find anyway. There's a certain atmosphere, and it's an atmosphere of friendship. You walk in, the staff is friendly, smiling, greet you. There's just a certain feeling about it.
It is. It really permeates the building. I mean, the 15 department heads. Everyone's going to greet you with a smile. Everyone's happy to be here. That's something we've worked really hard to foster as a club leadership, to really be an employer of choice. And I think that shows. And then they're just good people, and they're naturally that way as well, which makes it easy.
So I have to ask you, we're up here on the second floor in the chemistry class.